as the country witnesses a fiery election battle unfold. Let's look at how Erdogan has shaped Turkey in the last 20 years. Recep Tayyip Erdogan has steered his country through a period of extraordinary change. In August 2001, Erdogan, a former mayor of Istanbul, founded a new Islamist-rooted party. It was called the Adalet ve Kalkınma Partisi, or the AKP. It's also known as the Justice and Development Party. In 2002, the AKP won a majority in the parliamentary elections. The following year, Erdogan was appointed Prime Minister. From 2003 until 2014, he spent 3 terms as Prime Minister. In his first decade in power, he won praise internationally as a reformer, as he presided over a period of steady economic growth. But his critics warned he was becoming increasingly autocratic. In 2013, many took to the streets to register their protest. These became famous as the Gezi Park protests. What started as an environmental cause snowballed into civil unrest and anti-Erdogan demonstrations. The government responded rather forcefully by launching police raids on the protesters, who were severely beaten and tear-gassed.
This year it will be the 10th anniversary of this protest, are considered a turning point for the country because it was the point where Erdogan switched the way he was governing into a more authoritarian rule. After those protests, he kind of felt a fear of losing his position as a prime minister and started to repress all these groups, activists, journalists, political parties that he felt that were a threat to his governments. Even some of them are having a sentence of life sentence, and they are currently in prison.
In the same year, the Erdogan-led government also lifted a decades-old ban on women wearing headscarves in public services. Erdogan was widely accused of forcing his Islamic values on the majority Muslim but staunchly secular nation. And then this happened. A deadly coup attempt shook Turkiye in 2016. In the early hours of the 16th of July, a section of the Turkish military launched a coordinated operation to topple the government and unseat President Erdogan. While commandos attempted to capture Erdogan, who was vacationing at a resort, soldiers and tanks took to the streets. Acting on a tip-off, Erdogan managed to escape. The coup failed. The government blamed Fethullah Gulen, a Turkish cleric and businessman, for plotting the coup with his followers. Gulen, a former ally of Erdogan, denies any involvement in the coup. Days after the coup attempt, Erdogan was accused of launching a witch hunt. Ankara declared a state of emergency that continued for 2 years. Courts placed tens of thousands of suspects under arrest. Erdogan was accused of using the incident to stamp out the opposition. In 2017, the ruling Justice and Development Party put forward an 18-article constitutional reform package. It would transform the country's parliamentary system into a powerful executive presidency. The Turkish people voted in favor of changing their constitution, granting the president new far-reaching powers. With this, Erdogan secured sweeping powers and became the center of Turkiye's entire political system.
the president has certain powers that maybe shouldn't have wouldn't have in a parliamentary system. Let's say Erdogan had the power to, for example, intervene in the central bank and changing the direction a couple of times in the last year. So it created a lot of uncertainty in the economy and especially a lot of rejection from foreign investors, creating a lot of chaotic scenes in the economy of Turkey. If there was a parliamentary system, there would be a bigger institutionalization of this kind of like central bank, the economy minister, and everything would be much more secure.
In July 2020, Erdogan oversaw the conversion of Istanbul's historic Hagia Sophia into a mosque. A UNESCO World Heritage Site, the architectural masterwork was built 1,500 years ago as a cathedral. It was converted into a mosque after the Ottoman conquest in the 15th century. But Kemal Atatürk, modern Turkiye's founding father, had turned it into a museum, marking it as a symbol of the new secular state. The decision to convert it back into a mosque following a court ruling revoking its status as a museum was received with dismay by the Christian world and much of the international community. While religious himself, Erdogan always denied wanting to impose Islamic values. Interestingly, the man challenging him in the next election is touted as the future of Turkish democracy. Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu is a former civil servant and ex-accountant. The Turkish politician has been dubbed Gandhi Kemal by the media owing to his physical resemblance to the Indian leader Mahatma Gandhi. The 72-year-old is the candidate of the coalition of 6 opposition parties. He was first elected to the Turkish parliament from Istanbul in 2002 as a candidate of the Republican People's Party, also known as the CHP. This is the country's oldest political party, which was established by Mustafa Kemal Atatürk. Now, the experienced social democratic politician is backed by 5 smaller parties in an alliance against the Turkish president. A soft-spoken man, he appears to be the polar opposite of Turkiye's flamboyant president.
Both parties and all political leaders believe this election to be existential, to be formidably significant. He's coming in with the idea that he wants to restore Turkey's status with Europe and also change the system from back to a parliamentary system from the presidential system, which was changed by a constitutional referendum. So again, is the table of 6 a table that is united? Yes, it's united in opposition to the current government. But will it be able to govern when if it wins the election?
Erdogan and Kılıçdaroğlu offer stark choices for presidency. Turkey is part of the West's NATO defensive alliance, but the Erdogan presidency has sought close ties with China and Russia. What kind of Turkey will emerge from the ballot box? While Erdogan accuses the West of trying to bring him down, Kılıçdaroğlu promises to steer the country closer to NATO and the West if he wins. The leader of Turkey's largest opposition party also says he will return Turkey to a parliamentary system of government. But defeating Erdogan, Turkey's most powerful man, will be a Herculean task.